In a small town not too far from here, there lived a dog who was trying to learn a new trick. This dog really wanted to enter the annual town talent contest, but he just didn't have any special skills. The dog was a mutt, a real mix of all kinds of different dogs, big and small. His name was Patch, and he had ears that stood straight up like a Jack Russell Terrier and a tail that never stopped wagging. He had the heart of a golden retriever and the instincts of a sheepdog, but he wanted to do something unique in the talent contest. And no one in his family could help him with this. Patch's human was a woman named Helen, who entered him into obedience competitions. She would always tell Patch, heel, and he would follow her everywhere. But she told him every day, I want you to be original, Patch. I want you to surprise me. Well, Patch did try some things, but nothing seemed to work. Every year the town held its annual pet talent show, and every year Patch tried out for it, but he never won. The other animals in the contest were so talented. There were cats that jumped through hoops, and birds that sang songs, and even a trained pig that could play the piano. And then there was Patch, who just couldn't figure out what to do. One day while walking in the woods near their home, Patch saw a deer jump over a fallen log. It looked so effortless. Could he do that? When they got back home, he went straight to the backyard and started practicing jumping over sticks. Helen came out to see what he was doing and was pleasantly surprised. That is amazing, Patch, she said. You're a natural, but Patch wasn't so sure. He kept missing, and it was getting him down. So he decided to go back to the woods to practice. Every day he would look for a fallen log or a stump and leap into the air. Sometimes he cleared it, and sometimes he crashed into it. But after weeks of practice, Patch finally felt ready. He went up to Helen and licked her hand. Then he ran to the door, scratched it with his paw, and then ran back to Helen. He did it again, scratch and run. Patch was asking her if he could please go to the talent contest and perform his trick. Helen understood exactly what he wanted to do. Are you sure? She asked. It's going to be hard to beat the piano-playing pig. Patch barked once and then ran to the backyard to get some more practice in. Helen smiled. All right, Patch, let's do it. The day of the talent show arrived, and Patch was very nervous. They got to the community center early, so he could calm down a bit. There were already lots of people there, and Patch could hear the piano-playing pig warming up in a dressing room. Patch took a deep breath. If he could just jump over the log like he had practiced, he would win. Then it was time for the first act. A beautiful Siamese cat jumped through brightly colored hoops. Next was a pair of budgies who sang a sweet song. Patch watched them from the wings, his tail wagging faster and faster. After the singing birds was the piano-playing pig. Sure enough, he played a lively tune and the crowd cheered. Patch knew he had to do something amazing to beat the pig. Helen led him into the center of the stage. All the lights were shining on him. The MC said, "This next act is going to blow your mind. This dog has been practicing his craft for months now. Please welcome Patch." The crowd clapped as Patch trotted around the stage. Suddenly, it was time for his trick. Helen stood still and quiet, hoping he would jump over the log. Patch took off like a rocket. He flew through the air and landed with a thump on the other side. The crowd gasped. Patch had done it. He cleared the log. Helen and Patch stared at each other for a moment, and then Helen began to clap. Soon the entire audience was on its feet. They had never seen a dog jump so high before. When the cheering died down, the MC said, "What an amazing act! That dog is going to be hard to beat." One by one, the other acts returned to the stage to perform again. There were dogs that rolled over, birds that mimicked sounds, and even a rabbit that juggled. But in the end, it was Patch who won first place. He took his big blue ribbon and shook it all over the stage. Up the pig came over and grunted. "Good job," he said. Patch barked happily. Up. Every year when the town holds its pet talent show, everyone looks forward to seeing what amazing trick Patch will do next. In fact, the show is so popular that other towns nearby come to watch. And every year, Patch tries to top himself by learning a new trick. Meanwhile, at home, Helen and Patch spend their days practicing. Patch is a natural athlete, and many tricks come easily to him. When he wants to learn something new, he practices every day until he gets it right. And he always wants to do something better than last year's trick. Helen loves watching Patch practice because she knows how hard he works. She also knows how kind he is. Even though he's the best jumper in town, he never laughs at the other animals for being bad at jumping. And when the rabbits or squirrels get upset, Patch always cheers them up. And that is why Helen thinks Patch is the most amazing dog in the whole wide world. One day, while practicing a new trick, Patch accidentally knocked Helen's favorite flower pot off its stand. It fell to the ground with a crash and broke into pieces. Helen was sad, but Patch was sorry. Ooh. He licked her hand and barked twice. Then he ran to the backyard and got to work digging. He dug a hole and then carefully placed the broken pieces of the flower pot in it. Then he covered it with dirt and planted some seeds. Every day he watered the seeds with his tongue until they sprouted into beautiful flowers. And when Helen saw what he had done, she gave him a big hug. Patch had learned another trick, the trick of making her happy. As the years passed, Helen grew older. Her hair turned from brown to silver, and her hands from smooth to wrinkled. But she still entered Patch in the annual talent show, because she knew how much it made him happy. And she was right. Patch loved performing for the town. One year, though, something unexpected happened. It was the day of the talent show, and Patch was ready to wow the crowd with his latest trick. But when he got to the community center, he saw something that made him sad. Helen wasn't with him. Patch sniffed around the building to see if he could find her. He looked under chairs, behind the piano, and even in the bathroom. But still he could not find her. Suddenly, he heard the MC say, "This next act is going to blow your mind." Patch looked out onto the stage and saw a young girl standing there. She looked familiar, but Patch couldn't remember where he'd seen her before. The girl walked up to the microphone. "Hello, everyone," she said. "My name is Helen, and this is my dog, Patch." Patch's heart skipped a beat. This Helen was the daughter of the woman he had known his whole life. The little girl Helen had grown up, and now she had come to take Patch's favorite trick to the annual talent show. Patch was disappointed, but he knew he had to do something. He took a deep breath and jumped over the log. The crowd gasped and cheered. Patch had done it again. No matter who was standing next to him, he would always put on a good show. The new Helen looked over and smiled. "Good job, Patch," she said. And for the first time in a long time, Patch felt like he could jump even higher.